Film Police State is now in streaming, and it's also on DVDs. And so if you haven't seen it, you should be thinking about, how do I want to watch it? Do I want to watch it on my big screen TV? Well, obviously a DVD will work, but streaming will also work. So you can stream from Salem now or from Rumble right onto your big screen TV. And we're putting up today, I believe, instructions on the website for how to do that. The website, of course, policestatefilm.net. Now, I'd like to talk today about stopping a police state, because a lot of times whenever I make a film, in fact, sometimes before even seeing the film, you'll have people like, well, Dinesh, what do we do? How do we stop it? And usually I slow those people down because I say, well, before we figure out how to stop it, let's get a clear picture of what the problem is. It's kind of like if you are an antelope and you know there's a predator approaching, but you don't know where it's approaching from. Well, Dinesh, how do we elude the predator? Well, where is the predator? Is the predator coming from the trees? Is the predator coming from behind a bush? Is the predator charging from the opposite direction at full speed? Until you recognize what kind of predator you're dealing with. Some predators rely on stealth. Others rely on open speed. If you're dealing with a cheetah, that's the fastest animal. So just simply outrunning a cheetah isn't really going to work. The cheetah's faster than you are, unless you can run in a zigzag motion, which, by the way, some antelopes can. And they are faster than the cheetah in that motion. The cheetah actually cannot stop them when they are moving in that zigzag motion. So the point is, you develop remedies appropriate to the situation in which you find yourself. Well, but let's talk about remedies. How do you stop a police state? Let's recognize that once police states become really advanced, they're very difficult to stop. Let's look at some police states that have been stopped and how they've been stopped. Well, we start with the Soviet Union. That's a police state that was stopped. In fact, it was stopped by kind of implosion from within. But it's worth noting that that implosion took 70 years. It took the better part of a century. It squelched innumerable, almost countless lives before it in fact broke apart. And then it left in its wake a really disordered and poor country that is still not recovered, decades later. Nazi Germany was a police state that was stopped, but not from the inside, from the outside, and took a world war to do that. Again, look at the cost of stopping that police state. Look at the tens of millions of people killed, not only on the Nazi side, but also on the Allied side. So that was, again, a very high price in stopping that police state. The Chinese police state has not been stopped. It's not the same police state that Mao created in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. It is a police state that has transformed itself from within. Kind of a very interesting, it's proved to be sort of an innovative police state, at least in terms of generating economic growth. But the tyranny remains intact. And this is actually one of the great busted hopes of Western liberalism, the idea that the Chinese police state would become less tyrannical over time. It has not done that. In fact, our society has become more tyrannical over time, moving more in the direction of China. Now, to fight our police state, it seems to me we need many things. And we also need to recognize that this is not going to happen overnight. It's not even going to happen if Trump wins the election in 2024. Of course, getting the executive branch is critical to reforming all the police institutions of government. You want to remake the FBI from top to bottom? Well, you need the presidency. You want to remake DHS and reorganize it? Yes, you need the presidency. So those agencies are part of the executive branch, and controlling the executive branch is necessary to be able to fix those things. But you also need the Congress, because Congress makes appropriations. You also need the courts. Why? Because courts are the one that can strike down censorship. The Missouri versus Biden case coming up now in the spring, the court will have a great opportunity to deliver a massive blow against government involvement in censorship. And I certainly hope that they do that. What can you and I do? Well, we can use our influence to get the word out. You can become, if you will, a kind of apostle or evangelist for the film. Help to widen the American people's public recognition of what's going on. Just use all your influence to do that. And then you can also participate in all kinds of ways. You want to run for school board? Do that. Want to become a poll watcher or a poll judge next year in the election? Do that. So there are practical things that you can do. You're not by yourself changing the whole situation, but you're a force for good. And in many circumstances, that's the best we can be. We use our influence in our sphere, whether it's a local sphere, whether it's statewide, whether it's national. You use the influence that you have to be a force for good. And if there are enough of us, and I'm not sure if there are, I can't predict the outcome. I think there are. I hope there are. I kind of pray there are. But I think that if those of us who are fighting on the good side do what we can, then we may stop the police state. But even if we don't stop the police state, we can at least say, we tried to warn you. We did what we could. Debbie and I made a New Year's resolution to lose weight, and thankfully, PhD weight loss came to our rescue. Debbie lost 24 pounds, I've lost 27, and guess what? It's been several months. We've kept the weight off. We're on maintenance. The program is based on science and nutrition, no injections, no pills, no long hours in the gym, no severe calorie restriction, just good, sound, scientifically proven nutrition. It's so simple. They make it easy by providing 80% of your food at no additional cost. They tell you when and what to eat. And guess what? You can do this without ever being hungry. The founder, Dr. Ashley Lucas, has her PhD in chronic disease and sports nutrition. She's also a registered dietitian. She helps people lose weight and, most important, maintain that weight loss for life. If you're ready to take the step of losing weight like Debbie and I have, call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. Here's the number, 864-644-1900. You can find them online at myphdweightloss.com. The number again to call, 864-644-1900.